Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Calico Kate. If you are visiting, welcome, welcome. I am so glad to have you. And if you've come back, thank you. So glad you did. I decided today to do something different. It's been a while since I've done any slow stitching. And there are some people that like to watch my channel for the slow stitching. So for those of you who like watching it for the slow stitching, here we go. Now, I am not slow stitching fabric only. I am slow stitching or embroidery, whatever you want to call it, paper, fabric to paper, no less, because that's what I'm in the mood to do today. And I am retired and I tend to be able to do that. I've got a load of clothes in the wash machine that are probably done and need to go to the dryer because it's way too windy for them to go to the clothesline. I got a story about that from yesterday. I've been for my walk and felt a few sprinkles on me. Don't know if that was psychological or real sprinkles, but I turned around and came back. I'd about gone my miles, so, or my 30 minutes, I should say. Yeah, I hadn't gone 30 minutes. Who am I kidding? But anyway, I'm building up. And so I'm downstairs sweeping the back porch and trying to decide what I want to do up here. And I decided I'm going to slow stitch. So I'm thinking of doing the blanket stitch on this. If I can remember what I'm doing. I always have to remind my brain. Comas do that to you sometimes. I have been embroidering for years, and you would think this would be secondhand. No, it's not. I have to mess up a few times before I know exactly what I'm doing. But that's okay because I've got time to do that. And if I really mess up, you'll never see this. So there we go. I'll be perfect. Oh dear. Whoops. Oh. Yeah. So sorry about that. Your eyeballs okay? You got a headache now? I may just do this stitch where I slant it on there because it's not wanting to cooperate with what I'm wanting to do. This is too long. I need to cut it off. So I hope everyone is doing great today. I live in Northeast Missouri, and it has been windy and rainy. We need the rain. We had a lot of snow, but not enough to, when we had snow, we had a whole bunch at once. And then, there we go. See, it just takes me a minute to start. And up here, I'll put something to cover up that mistake. Because, you know, there's no mistakes in crafting. It helped get that part off that was way too long, and I cut it too short. But that's okay. We can fix that too. Yesterday, my husband said, you know, this might be a really good day to put clothes on the line. I thought, okay. So I did a bunch of his work clothes. And went for my walk, came back, crafting, done a little bit of cleaning, not a lot of cleaning. And he yells, "It's raining, you might want to get those clothes off the line." I have never gone down these back craft steps so fast. Now, this is an old house, as many of you know, but the craft steps are very steep. Yeah. I got them off and put them in the dryer, and I had to turn my heater on when I got back up here because I was cold and damp. So needless to say, with the weather like it is today, there's a 100% chance of raining tomorrow. So my fibromyalgia is saying, thank you so much, but no thanks. And so we're not going to worry about it. I had a bonus day the other day. My husband said, "What do you think of having Courtney come out?" Courtney is his niece. "And doing some deep cleaning." Yeah. He didn't have to ask twice. So, she's going to come out probably tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. When I called her, I told her, I said, "This is going to take a while because I plan on you doing this head to toe, dust, windows, the whole thing." So, I think she may be here for 3 days or more. But I'm not going to do a bunch of cleaning. I mean, I'll clean it enough to be healthy, but not enough to... Okay, I think I'm going to do this. I don't know how that will look. These are old scissors. And then I'll cut this down too. Because what I want to do is I want to do like a double pocket. And I thought this would be fun to have some stuff here. I think I'm going to maybe glue it together. And then I really want to do something like this, then glue it together, and then do some embroidering something down here. Or I could just put this along the bottom. I could. Let me cut this off. And I'm going to glue the two pieces together so I don't have to continually hold them. Now, when slow stitching, glue can be your best friend. Because, now I'm not going to have them stick stuff down here because of the embroidery thread. But I'll just have the one pocket. But when you're embroidering, you can glue your fabric down or whatever just to kind of tack it down. And see, I could do something like this, but if I do something like this, I'm going to glue it so that I don't have to worry about the thread, because in and out a lot will cause some tension on the thread. I may use this for my creative journaling, but I may not. Now down here it wouldn't be a problem because the bottom will be glued on. So I think I am going, and I'm going to make it just a little longer because we've already tacked them down together with the paste, and I don't want to run out if for some reason something happens. Now, what color do I want? I want a springy color because it is April right now. And so I want something that will go with spring. Let's go with this blue. People who know me will know it doesn't take me long to make a decision. Now you don't want to throw your thread away because you may decide you want that color again. And this, I am using all 6 strands of my embroidery thread, and it does not want to go through this needle very well. So I am using a needle threader. I just got my eyes checked, got new glasses, and he said my eyes had changed a lot. I said, so that's why I'm having trouble with the needle. And he said, that's why you're having trouble with the needle. But this is because the thread's too thick for me to thread through. Some of you more experienced embroidery slow stitchers may not. Yes, I licked that with my mouth. Don't judge me. Crafts is an all-body sport. I wonder who invented needle threaders. Isn't that just the cat's meow? I just think that's wonderful. Okay. Now, I'll try not to hit you in the eyeballs with the needle again. Okay, now, I'm going to take this little bit of lace, and I think I'm going to go up. And I'm just going to go through the middle with just a little basic stitch, just in and out. This is a stitch anybody can do. I taught my grandson when he was about 8 to do it. In and out. I thought it was very important that he know how to sew on a button. And I said, because Nana may not always be here to sew your buttons on. He said, then I'll have to buy a new shirt, won't I? I said, no. You get your button and you sew the new button on. He said, Emerson, you need to learn how to do this. Yeah, he did do one, I have to say. He did one. He can run a sewing machine. All the kids in his class, he's in 7th grade, have to take home ec for a quarter. And they have 4 9-week courses they have to take. And one of them is industrial arts. And they have to learn how to use tools, girls and boys. And they all have to take home ec. And he was one of 2 that knew how to use a sewing machine. And the other little boy's aunt was a quilter. And so she had shown him. Not a single girl knew how. Kind of sad, isn't it? It's a dying craft, dying hobby, dying art, dying necessity in my book. But my daughter-in-law can't do any of it either. And she's kind of like Jackson. We'll just let Nana fix it. When we lived in Florida, every time we came up, there's a little pile because Jackson had made the rule, Nana can fix anything. And what Nana can't fix, Daddy can. So Nana always had a pile, and there were some things Nana couldn't fix. And Andy would know it, but it came up anyway. And I'd try. And then there'd be some stuff I'd look at and think, what? You really think I can fix this? He'd laugh. He said, no, but they did. So, very slow week here around the cow farm. I don't have anything on the calendar for Greg or I until Saturday. And Emerson Dance School is having their competition Saturday, so I pray I can go to that. They got platinum. It goes gold then platinum, but it goes, no, participation then gold. Participation, I think. And then it goes gold, medium, high. And then it goes to platinum. And platinum's the highest, her little, that she's ever gotten. So we were proud of her for that. They did do a really good job. All right, now I want something up here. So I'm looking in this thing. Well, I could make that a little bow. Not that I don't have 100 bows, but this might be a cute little bow. No, because we're going to get this kind of bow. Move my water. There's the bow. Here's the bow. And here's some bows. Yeah, I need some bows, don't I? Nope. Yeah, like that. And we're going to glue that down just a little bit. I hate Fabri-Tac. I call it cold glue gun because it is handy, but man. Gotta glue this down. Let that dry a little bit. Now, what do I want across that top? I don't want oh, my lace drawer's stuck. Anybody else have a lace drawer? I have a lace bag. I have a lace drawer. Oh, no, don't like that. What about this little bit of black? No, don't want that. I'd get this out, but I'd never get it back in. I have 2 containers of rolls of laces, and then I have a big bag of, ooh, I know what I could do. I could, if I have white, this would work. This is just cheesecloth, and I am going to ruffle it. So let's get these out of the way. And I'm going to put my needle. Uh-oh. I lost the needle. Well, hope my foot doesn't find it. It did that one year when I was in high school. It found my foot. There it is. I better get that. Here, this will work. Okay. Well, I need to do. This is going to screw up my fingernail polish. I better get something to glue it on. I'm proud of myself for thinking all this stuff first. Yeah, this is going to be girly for you guys that aren't frilly. Close your eyes. I love the frilly, the bling, the lace. Yeah, love it all. Emerson's little dress for the daddy-daughter dance was so frilly. I loved it. Lots of pink and white and tutu and lace and flowers. And her mom got home just in time to get to do her hair. And I could have gone down there and done it, but you know, Mama wants those kind of honors. And Emerson had done her hair 5 times, Jackson said. He said, how many times she'd come out? What do you think of this makeup job? Then she'd go wash it off, and then she'd do it again. Do you like this one better or the other one better? They were going, we don't care. He and his dad were working on rebuilding some steps. They're like, we're not worrying about it, Emerson. But it was a big deal to her. Okay. Now that looks girly and cute and pretty. Does it need anything else? I know some of you are saying, heck no, it doesn't need any more. It's girly enough. But I'm thinking we're just going to set it aside for right now. But this will then see, this can then go on a page. And see something stuck in there? Or it can go on this side, which I probably like that better, and go in that way. Or it may not even go in this book. Can go in the middle. Find some. I don't know, but we're going to stick it here. We'll just stick it in my basket until it's time to decide. Now, I want to put something on this. Maybe make this like a border. Let's I'm just going to use the whole thing, so that's why I cut it off. And then, and I could make this like a snippet roll where I put down something like this. And then maybe a bow. And I'm just showing you. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? And then, you know, I don't want gray, but maybe a little turquoise. And another piece of lace. And then I could put maybe a flower there. And then I've got little clusters. I could do that. But then I'm 21. I can do whatever I want to. And if you want to see more of the slow stitching I've done, I've got a whole playlist of them. Doesn't look like it's straight, but it's this isn't straight. Okay, now which is the right side? That should go this way. Lace is so hard to decide. And then I think I'll sew this like this. And maybe this. And then I just kind of stick stuff on it that I like. And I may very well move stuff. You know, decide, oh, when, you know, I get to it, say, ooh, or it's too hard to go through. This is upholstery fabric is what this is. So this is a little basket I made, if you're wondering what this thing is. You see them everywhere. It's not my design. I made a whole bunch of them. Made Easter ones. Didn't even bring them out. Yeah. Brought them all the way up here. They don't take much room, but Um, think I want the light pink. Well, that's going to stay on there since I stuck it there, isn't it? And then I'm going to see if I can get this through on the first try, or if I need my, I hate using the whatchamajiggers because I can't see the whatchamajigger right now. If you see it, can you let me know? It is so muggy. Can't hardly breathe for the mugginess. Look at that. Look at me being experienced needle threader. Now, I know Janet Nash says she doesn't ever knot hers. She said after she's sewn through for a few times, it doesn't go anywhere. Well, you probably aren't going to sit there and just want to watch nothing. I'm so afraid I'm going to knock you in the eye again. But I'm just going. And I like to do a color you can see. You know, I could do off-white through all this. But then to me, you don't see the art of the slow stitching. Now, you may not want to see the art of the slow stitching, and that's fine too. You know, whatever trips your trigger. Now, one thing I did not do, I should have, and I'm going to stop and do it, is pin these down, or they're going to be everywhere. And I could have pasted them, but there's kind of too many levels to paste. I don't want to paste it. Oh, good grief. Pasted it to the paper. Let's get rid of that paper. I don't need that under here. Then we'll put this all back. I'm a hot mess today. Number one, this house is hot. Number two, I need to be downstairs ironing and making pillowcase dresses. I need to be changing washer to dryer of clothes. And what am I doing? I'm up here slow stitching. Yeah. But I want to get some of that sewing done. I'd like to make a Friday sews. I used to make those every Friday, and shoot, I haven't made one of those for a long time. So maybe I'll do that. Do some sewing, then later this week, maybe I'll do a Friday sews. Probably not, because Courtney will be here, and I don't want to be in her way. I'll be up here. Okay. So we're going to go down. Now, you just go down, and then you go a little ways, and you come right back up. Keep a straight line if you want, or don't. You're the artist. You do what you want to do. I try not to pucker. Being straight is the least of my worries. On some things. On this, I don't care if it's straight or not. I'm going to cover a lot of it up anyway. But if you want it to look real neat and tidy, so you can hardly see your stitches, then you make them tiny. What I'm doing is not that purpose. I want to see the stitches are part of the decoration for this. Not all things is that true. You know, if you're mending something, as those of you who know how, you don't want big stitches. You want tiny stitches. So it just depends on what you want. But this is all slow stitching. This is. Now there's the blanket stitch that I did on that pocket. The top on the black and white had the, well, I can't find it now. Had the blanket stitch. There's hundreds of stitches. But you'll find you get your favorites. And when it's for a journal or something, you know, I'm not doing it for the embroidering. I'm doing it because I want something different in my journal. This may be a border. I may decide this is going to be a border. I was going through some of my snippet rolls a little bit ago, and I think I'm going to use a snippet roll on the cover of my May journal. I already had my cover and papers for another project, and I decided I was just going to use it. So yesterday I counted my pages and numbered them and got my cover sort of done. I took a master board I had glued together and made that my cover board, my journal cover. And then I took my numbers and stuff like that, and I've numbered and put the day of the week on my pages so that, you know, that boring stuff is done. With my brain, making the actual journal, I'm afraid I'm going to just be so scatterbrained that nobody's going to be able to follow me. And if it gets thick and you have trouble, you can always just go in and out. Now, if I was just making a snippet roll, I would then add flat beads. I do some beading. I'd add some charms, a lot of that kind of stuff, you know, to make it three-dimensional. However, since I am putting this in my creative journal, or inside a journal if I wanted to do this, say, for a pocket or something, I don't want it that bulky. I have before, and it does bulk it up. So, now I do have a writing board I use, you know, if I'm writing, but see, to me, well, take the straight pen out. To me, that pink is part of the decor, okay? And then, depending on what you can do, you can add other clusters. You can add ribbon. You can add paper clusters. You can add, you know, that kind of thing if you want to. You can cut out different shapes to put on there. I'm looking to see what I got. You can put this kind of thing on there. That's a flat beaded. I don't know what I'm going to put, so that's why I'm not leaving anything out. You can put bows, flowers. Where are my flowers? Well, we're going to... But, you know, you could do something like that. Pretty much whatever you want. And then I've got flowers I could put on it. I've got cheesecloth I could put on it. I've got beads I can put on it. You know, I can put some of this bling alongside of it. I have some white and gold beads I could paste on it. I've got beads I could sew on them, you know, the seed beads, or even the bigger ones I could put on it. I don't know what I want to put on it. So right now I'm not putting anything. But I have a couple of slow stitched projects done. I have just been putting off. Tonight when I watch TV, maybe instead of playing my computer games, I'll do a little more slow stitching and have those to show you. See, what are these? Oh, those are just my bows. I redecorated in here, and so I don't know where everything's at. Yep, that's what I do. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring you along, let you see a little of the slow stitching. I love doing it. It's very relaxing. When my hands hurt, I can't do it. And so sometimes that's what slows me down, is my hurting hands. And the older I get, the more they seem to hurt. Oh, imagine that. So, I'm going to leave my mess up here. Might come back up to it. I don't know. If you want to see more, like I said, I've got playlist of slow stitching. So, I do have some more if you want to watch it. So glad to have you here. Thank you for coming. And as always, remember, my friend, you have a purpose. Bye for now.